How many people read yesterday? So. Nobody else read it, huh? Oh yeah, that final exam is coming. Oh, it's coming. It's gonna be great. In any case, those of you who did read, what happened in yesterday's reading? What is going on at this point in the story? Anyone? Bailey?
They made it to the Oasis.
Okay, you jump right to the end. Yeah, they made it to the Oasis, right? What happens before that? DNR? Read a little bit.
Oh, I was like on my past reading.
Okay. You read you didn't read what was required. You read some stuff because you didn't read before. I see it. See how she tried to slip that in there and be like, oh yeah, I read yesterday. Yeah. Okay. Also, phones, earbuds, put them away. I don't want to see them. Hey, Zeus. So at this point, they are crossing the desert. To Bailey's point, make it to the Oasis. Get out your Alchemist books and open them to page 80. The Omens assignment? That's a good question. It's not due until the end of the book, right? So yesterday's assignment, and I said this, right, on the video, which I know you all watch. The Omens assignment from yesterday is not due until we complete the book. Now, just to reiterate this point, we will be done with this book by Monday or Tuesday. Right around then. That's about the pace we're moving at. Okay? So, that Tuesday, we'll just say Tuesday for now. That Tuesday I should have that Omens assignment from you. My advice, much like I gave the other classes, is hey, because you only have to find 3 omens. There have been tons of omens throughout the book already. If you can think of 3 omens or you've come across 3 already, my advice is just do the assignment and turn it in. And then don't be worried about turning it in next week because you'll probably forget if you procrastinate. Okay? Page 80. On page 80, which was in the section you were supposed to read yesterday. Santiago, our main character, is having a conversation with one of the camel drivers. Okay? And if you look down to, I would say, the second paragraph, where it says once you get in. Everybody see that? Okay? It says, once you get into the desert, there's no going back, said the camel driver. And when you can't go back, you have to worry only about the best way of moving forward. The rest is up to Allah, including the danger. Okay? We talked about a lot of these people being Muslims, so they are referencing Allah in terms of their God. Okay? In this case, the camel driver is talking about the desert. But metaphorically speaking, what could he be referring to? I will read it again. See if you get it. Once you get into the desert, there's no going back, said the camel driver. And when you can't go back, you have to worry only about the best way of moving forward. The rest is up to Allah, including the danger. So he's talking literally about the desert, but what else figuratively could he be talking about? What could the desert be a metaphor for? Right? We haven't done poetry yet, but the study of poetry, and you will hear me say this again, the study of poetry is all about literal versus the figurative, right? People say things, I was literally doing this. They mean that is exactly what they were doing. Figuratively means something different, okay, on a different level. It is when you hear, or you read a poem and you read something really slick, or you hear like a rapper say something really quick, and you go, man, that was a bar, right? The figurative part is what amazes you. Now he's talking about the desert, but what else could he possibly mean?
The war that is happening between tribes.
The war?
Or is
No.
that later?
No. That's at the end of, right? That's at the end of yesterday's reading, where they talk about the rumors of war between tribes. Okay. he said, well, forget the fact that he's talking about the desert. What if he just said, there's no going back? So I'm going to parse his words. What if he said, there's no going back? Yes. Yes. Thank you, Maddie. Life. He could be referring to life, right? It is a metaphor for life. This book is full of metaphors for life and other things that take place in life. Right? You have to actually read it to get those things. But they're in there. Okay? All of these hidden messages and layers for you to peel back. It is deeper than him simply talking about the desert. Right? Because he says, when he talks about the desert, once you get into the desert, there's no going back. And when you can't go back, you have to worry only about the best way of moving forward. The rest is up to Allah, including the danger. He could be talking about life, to Maddie's point. Because in life, and you might know people like this, you might be one of those people. How many times do you encounter people that look back on their past and go, man, I wish I could go back? Right? I wish I could go back. I wish I could change that. I wish I could do that differently. Right? It's the idea that in life, much like the desert, once you get in, once this roller coaster starts rolling, from the moment you're born, there is no going back. Once you get into the desert, you can't go back. All you can do is worry about how you're going to move forward. It's the same way in life. We make mistakes. We want to change things. Can't fix them. Can't change them. Moving forward, all you can worry about is what decisions you're going to make moving forward. Right? Everybody see that comparison, that parallel. Okay? All right. So, since a lot of you didn't read again, I'm not going to talk too much about it. But we're going to get into today's reading. Today's reading is 93 to 110, which will show up on your agenda. Some of you have that in front of you. Okay, open your book to page 93. We will get there in a moment. Also, you will see on the agenda you have an assignment called Cartoon Squares. Right? If you click on it, it's going to look like this. Okay? And all it says is select a point in the story that stands out to you. So that could be any point from the beginning of the story until today's reading. Okay? Something that stands out to you. Summarize this portion of the story by creating 8 cartoon squares, a comic strip. You get to draw. Draw me a comic strip. Okay? This is not an art class. I will not be judging your comic strips based upon how much your drawings suck or how great they are. If it's great, great, right? But if you're not an artist, don't sweat it. My one caveat, my one rule is no stick figures. No stick figures. You gotta actually draw, right? I want want the characters to have some width. I like them thick. You know what I'm saying? The character, we talking about the characters. Dan, we talking about the characters. You see her mind, man? Man, what's going on? All right. So, you're going to draw me a comic strip. It says summarize this portion. That means there should be words in your comic strip, not just pictures, right? That are telling me what is taking place in this part of the story. Each square should provide an illustration that is summarizing the plot and the events, okay? So there should be words virtually in every square telling me what's going on, even if it's something light, okay? What's up? You're telling the story about a part of the story. I don't want the whole story, right? I don't want from the beginning all the way to pick a chunk that stands out to you, because there are lots of different events that take place. So pick a chunk that stands out to you. Okay, draw me a cartoon strip. I need at least 8 squares. Okay, if you want to draw more than that, fine, but I need at least 8. Okay, words included. Okay, any questions about that? All right. So let's get into today's reading. I'll read a little bit, and then I'm going to let you go.